Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearthstone 4 Kaiserreich as the Qing. Let us continue on for last left off. So we have done the decision to annex Qing, but so far they haven't gotten the memo. Hopefully at some point we will just kind of annex them into our government, because that would give us an extra 29 divisions. Or they rejected it. I don't know if there's a way for me to tell. They're 48% popularity there. We can try to reopen talks for training. But we'll just see if we get the annexation event. Like, they're still in our faction, which is still pretty good. But of course, it could always be better. We're at 23 army experience. We need to get to 50 next to continue our army reform. And is there anything we can do? I mean, if we hire foreign experts, that might give us the ability to get our army reforms underway. Because if we get completely reformed by the time the Federal government or the Japanese decide to invade, you are now doing your anti-Chinese focus, which is undesirable for sure. White Ruthenia has capitulated against the Ukrainians. You're at war with Poland. Okay, so we'll see how this kind of turns out for them. It's gonna be like a weird situation no matter what. We'll go for... Are we even have infantry equipment? Yes, we do. So we can actually go over here just fine. We're gonna be taking a little bit of steel penalty, but we'll get some of that from the Russians. I really don't see ourselves. Do I know any factories? No, I don't. Why? So we have 40% for you because of Empire's fracture, personal mobilization. Not ideal. Not ideal. So I guess we're gonna stop importing so much aluminum, because I think steel is a little bit more important. I know it's gonna make our planes build a little bit less fast, but you know, what can I do? Also, I do have a research slot open, so I guess we're gonna go for probably resource extraction then, because apparently that's one of the things that we do need. Because manpower is still good. We'll get better tactical bombers soon as well. Is it just like the planes don't take? Yeah, they take no steel whatsoever. The port equipment's kind of taking some penalties, but it could be worse. Like Qing, you should, I imagine, have some resources. You have 17 steel. Okay, that's significantly less impressive than I was originally hoping. Because you guys are still in a faction together. You could form a government, I think, with Hunan, but you might just stay independent. I'm not too sure, and I'm not even sure when I'm able to actually start to kind of reconquer these territories. You give us 1% more influence. Like, do you just like not claim territory in faction? I just don't know. I mean, I'll guarantee your independence. I don't think no, you're in a faction together at all. It doesn't make any sense to do that. We'll keep you guys just trained up. Mostly because I think we just want to store some of our rifles just for future reinforcements if we need it. The Dominion of India is looking quite bad. They have lost Delhi, so they could just leave the Entente. Not that affects us, I think, too much. The Entente, I don't know, because we would want to invade the legation city at some point. And that is backed by the Entente. So the Dominion of India actually losing Hyderabad is a positive for us. Ukraine's actually losing to the Germans here, which is unfortunate. So again, Germany is one of those powers. So I guess so is Russia, aren't they? One of those powers that is going to want to intervene when we conquer legation cities. Same with the Japanese. Same with basically everybody. Nobody's going to like us too much. Okay, you're getting some projects. You've done this, but thankfully you don't want to support anybody in Asia quite yet. Good. Stay the hell out of here. I wonder if it makes sense to have troops on the Hunan clique. You're going to foster patriotism. What does that do for us? Nothing. You're doing military affairs. Like, when do you ever create a faction? I would imagine so. Like, do you guys ever attack us? Get more popularity, warrior identity, French advisors. Like, I would like to be the first one to attack. Like, make a first strike. But I don't know it's possible. We could buy equipment. I mean, buying artillery pieces or support equipment I was gonna say would be nice. We actually do not need it. Get 10 political power. We need tanks and planes, which I don't think you guys are actually providing us at all. Russia declared war on Ukraine, so that's okay. That's the end of Ukraine for sure. Our foreign advisors have now arrived. So who's winning here? Probably the Carlists are looking pretty good. Ukraine is absolutely now going to die. National focus. We can buy ships, but like it's weird how we can buy ships. We're not allowed to buy aircraft though. Support technology, I don't think it's that important. And most of this stuff we can't do until we're actually war with the Japanese. So I guess we're just going to go for 2 civilian factories and maybe be able to use them to trade out stuff. Army experience plus 15. Yes, I would like both of those. We do have 139. I think it's actually worth buying all of them. Trade interception, land doctrine. And that will give us 1 level of reform. So just get all of those right away. It's more than I think worth the political power spending on that. Interwar bombers. Make those better. And for you, let's... we have a research bonus to land doctrine, so you know what, let's use it. Japan. What is your plan? You're going to support warlord allies? That is less than ideal. You're going to be that. That's... It could lead to a Japanese invasion of us. Which, of course, we want to avoid. We want the Japanese to invade Germany. We want the Japanese to invade the Entente. We want the Japanese to do something away from us. Please and thank you. Improve relations with you, but that's not necessary. I'm assuming you just rejected the annexation call. And I'm not too sure when we'll have the ability to do get another attempt there. Could get, we can still get more influence. Like this is like an extra 5% here. You are, oh yeah, you're the trash militia units. You just go down here. Is there any reason to keep training these units up? We're getting slightly more, 0.068 daily. Is that worth the equipment we're spending on it? Probably. I'm sure we're earning more than we're losing. Maybe. We're losing 2 per day because of the training, but we can actually train for a while. So I think it's fine. Even though I know this doesn't go up very fast. And you'll be ready in about a week. And we can keep training with you. Entrenchment speed. Command power gain goes down. Maybe because they rejected the training talks, they we're back to doing the training. And Qing, all you gotta do is allow me to annex you in the future. That's it. I feel like that is a simple... We have more than 50% influence now. Which I would consider to be quite good. I did see that something happened, and I don't know what it is, and that's... What would it have been? I don't know. Unless you are... No, you're still in the Entente. I missed the event pop-up. But I don't think it matters too much. No, it's not you. What if I actually just look at the faction map mode? Oh, you guys are joining the mod? Okay, you guys are joining the Russian faction. Okay, that's what I was missing. That is interesting because it opens up a big front line with the Austrians in the future. And probably the Germans as well. Let's throw 1 more into you. I know we're still missing a lot of aluminum. We're also missing even more steel. I can trade at least 1 factory for some aluminum. Put support equipment down here. Use the aluminum for the aircraft first. I think that's way more important. I think a lot of the steel is just also for the convoys, which doesn't matter so much. We have 1 naval base. So I'm not too worried about that. Did I actually not get us up to 50? I really thought that those 215 bonuses would have actually pushed us to 50, but apparently not quite yet. Soldiers of the Forest have fired, have gone wild the last few weeks. They pillaged friendly towns and even attacked government troops. I can just get rid of them. We'll just arrest and execute them. Those like the 3 divisions, I'm sure, are basically just garbage anyway, so I'm not too concerned with that. We have 1,000 rifles. How many rifles does each of these units use? They each use 1,300. So we couldn't deploy these guys and have enough equipment for everybody else, which is a shame. So it might make sense just to buy rifles. I mean, we get 2,500. That's enough for about 2 infantry divisions. And for 50 political power, I think it is worth it. Because, like, conscription law is never going to change. All that we really care to think is, like, war economy and maybe an aircraft designer. And for the rest of the time, I don't think our political power matters so much, other than trying to influence Qing even more. But I don't know when we'll be able to do that. So, Japan. You're not doing, like, I'm worried. I know they're coming. I know that they plan to invade us. I just don't know when that is going to be. And that's the worst part. It's the waiting. Yeah, let's get you. Army experience plus 20 would push us over the edge. And I wonder, does level 3 for the army reform also cost 50, or do you think it goes down to 25 and it gets easier as time goes on? I'm not too sure. So we're getting 0.8, so 10. They're about a month off? I think about a month away from being able to get our army experience up. If I'm reading this correctly, which I might not be, to be completely fair, but it's going up by about 1 point. I guess it's about like 1 point every 12 days. So it's about like a month and a half, and we should be able to get our army reform up, which is going to give us more organization and I guess less experience loss. Experience loss I don't think is as important, but it's still pretty good. Hyderabad has won their war, which means I'm sure Hyderabad is probably going to also annex the Bharati commune. They're still in the middle of their agrarian revolt, so they're in a very weak position right now. Ukraine, you were doing really nicely until you ate shit. But for a bit, I really had high hopes for you. And actually, I wonder who's going to win this war. Okay, they've capitulated. Russia got all the land, which is interesting. Like Ruthenia, or not Ruthenia, Lithuania is probably going to capitulate. You are in the Reichspakt. Well, you won't declare war on I'd be surprised if you declared war on Germany elite before the Second Weltkrieg. The Second Weltkrieg is happening soon. It is 1939 already. So within the next 6 months, I would expect the war to kind of begin in earnest. But the Japanese, they do have Burma. I don't think Burma is really going to affect the war too much. Like, I really do think that if we could just invade the south first, capitulate them, and then worry about the northern fronts, that would make my job easier, right? It would be so much simpler that way. Okay, so we now have enough steel because of our excavation. Hyderabad has officially won their war because they've done the white peace with army experience. Yeah, no, definitely army experience, please. That's not even a question. Do one more level of reform. Does lose a little bit of political power gain for 99 days. But that's not so bad. And honestly, buy the extra rifles as well. Bulgaria is showing the Austrian faction. That shouldn't affect things too much. Like, there's almost like a 50-50 chance on whether or not Austria backs Germany against the Russians as well in the Second Weltkrieg. Please, alarm. Do not go off. The fall of New York City. Okay, so it looks like the CSA... Actually, the CSA only lost New York City because of the landing. So I'm not too sure how this is going. I mean, it's not looking great, I will admit. I don't know, I'm sure the CSA will probably get the Canadians out of the war soon. They have taken, like, every major Canadian city except for Quebec. And I guess technically Vancouver, but that's kind of a different situation altogether. And who did you back? Did you end up backing the, You probably ended up backing the Pacific States if I had to take a guess. I'm not too sure. Also, Saudi Arabia never actually capitulated by the Ottomans because they just never ended up joining the war. So they're just in a Cairo Pact all by themselves. Which is a little bit of a strange situation. You have about 1 more week left. I'm just trying to think. I mean, getting the extra army experience probably does make the most amount of sense. I think we are going to at least stop training all the troops on this front. Mostly because I think the invasion of Japan is significantly more likely right now than it has been in the past. And especially an invasion from Manchuria up here. We got some things we got to worry about. More propaganda. We don't really need the war support, I think, too much. And for you, yeah, construction speed. We have basically like no factories, so I really don't think that's worthwhile. All of you are pretty good, but we're going to go for the army experience first, in case the next level of army reforms only at 25. Industry, I mean, you would be nice. Battlefield support. I mean, what is our Air Force mostly made out of? Probably fighters, right? I mean, it's about 50-50 on that. So, you know what? I mean, I still think Battlefield support is probably one of the best ones. We'll go for that. 162 days. Like Japan, if you want to invade me, you should just do it. Don't, you know, beat around the bush. Just have your puppet state over here. Declare the war. And then I will go kill them. Or I get destroyed by you. It's one of the two, and I'm not too sure which. You're fighting corruption. It gives you credibility, but that doesn't help me at all. Yeah, absolutely. 75 army experience, or 75 political power to get 100% boost to infantry design. I think that is more than worth it. Like, what about, like, I mean, you're backed by Russia, which is a little bit worrying. And again, we can't justify any wars until at least the second Will Decree, because that's going to trigger basically 100% world tension. Which allows you to do a bunch of stuff. Like, how many men do you have? You have 4 to 18. Like, you are just really, really weak. Hunan clique is weak. Every other Russian faction, or not Russian, every other Chinese faction is not strong. The Qing government right now, with a pretty impressive 45 divisions, which we could easily increase to, once you are deployed. Which we're going to increase by another 10. We're going to put you underneath, who do we have good here? You're 3224. We'll assign you to this army. You will be the red army. And I'll put you, I guess I'll put you on this border. No. I will put you on this border for now. Because Anqing already has enough troops on this border that if it were to break out with the southern faction, we should be okay. Like, our army right now is at, I mean, 55 divisions. We are by far the strongest power in China. Again, aside from the Japanese, because they could have apparently up to 200 divisions, which is terrifying. That's about 200 divisions more than I would like. We cannot get an agency, mostly because we just don't have the money for that. Or not money, the political, like the civilian factories. Which are basically, I guess, kind of money. Depending on either political power or civilian factories is considered money in the Kaiserreich universe, or Hearthstone 4 in general. It's a bit wishy-washy, I like that. But you have 40 days left. Like, what do you do for us? You remove Fractured Empire. I mean, the war support, war support will jump up by 30 because we're at war anyway, so it basically maxes us out. After that, I guess just tying up loose ends, but that's only after the defending government doesn't exist And Japan is not a leading nation. So I think for that to be the case, we have to kick Japan out of Korea. I'm trying to remember exactly how that works. Because there is like a very specific thing you have to do. Do I have tank divisions in the north? I have one. Send you into Orange Army. Not Orange Army, into a Blue Army here. Send the cavalry down south because the cavalry are way less important, I think, than a handful of tank divisions. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Like, they still don't have enough troops to actually put them on the entirety of our border. I think does help us out. Anti-socialist campaign. You guys aren't doing too much. I mean, you have an unorganized, you have an oversized army. I mean, I mostly have 36 brigades, which I really don't think is too oversized. Fall of Barcelona, so I think that means the Carlist should win their war. You know, Spain actually took it. Oh, they made a major comeback. Okay. You are hot garbage. We do not even want that template in our design anymore. The Imperial Guard is also garbage. How many of those guys do I have? Well, there's one in this army. Okay, so I have one. Having only one of those guys isn't too bad. They're still garbage, and I will make them a different symbol here. You can be... What's a good symbol for, like, a royal guard? You can be these two bullets. There we go. We got one of those guys in here as well. Yeah, Burgos has fallen, so that means the Kingdom of Spain should basically be in complete control of the country. Better points here as well, 177. More organization and more max entrenchments. Pretty good for our kind of somewhat defensive strategy we have going on. And you'll be ready in 2 more weeks. But I do think for right now that this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks so much for watching my Anthem. If you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up. And not enjoy, you can always thumb down. If you want to see more, subscribe. And goodbye.